trailblazing station. Welcome to Arise and Start, because a fortune definitely awaits the bold. And of course, this program comes away every Tuesdays right here by 8:30 a.m. on Unizik 94.1 FM. And it's good to have you guys on the program today. And don't forget, we are also here every other Tuesdays and ensure that you make sure you become a part of what we're doing right here. And today I'm not alone in the studio as always. I have Dr. Ugochukwu Ifediora. He's live in the studios. Doc, good morning and welcome back again to another edition of Arise and Start. We're definitely fortunate ways the board. Doc, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so Doc, we've been talking about something recently, and we want to continue with that, if I'm correct. So what do you have for us today?
All right, so good morning, Echo. Good morning, our listeners, and good morning, our viewers on Facebook. So if you recall, last week we started a new series that we called Building a Business That Lasts. And we talked about leaders. So we talked about, okay, so the first topic then was building a business, a system, and not just a business. Yeah. I remember building a system, not just a business. Yeah. So basically we talked about, how to, build a system around your business so that your business can function or work in your absence.
Mm-hmm.
So, but today we're going to take it a step further because you can build a system, but if you don't have, somebody to pilot it, then it will crash.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about leadership, and the episode today, the second episode, is titled "Leadership That Builds Great Business." So the theme is, trying to find out why businesses really outgrow the quality of their leaders, because, John Maxwell will always say everything rises and falls on leadership. Yeah. So, we're going to be talking a lot about, leadership here, because if everyone in your business, I usually ask this, if everyone in your business behaves like you do, what do you think your business organization will look like? So if you come to work late, if you, the leader, don't deliver on time, so what do you expect from the people the people that work for you?
You're leading.
Yeah, the people you're leading. Yeah. So because in the end, leadership is not about, telling people what to do. It's setting the examples and then the people follow the examples you've set. That way you create a culture around your business. Very, very important. So I also like to say here that before you ask your people to become better employees, you should yourself be a better leader. Yeah, because leadership is all about setting examples and letting people follow through. And leadership is so important in business because leadership is like setting the tune or the frequency at which your business works in, right? Because if you don't lead well, if you as a leader don't meet up deadlines, don't deliver, if important things don't matter to you in your business, then those things won't matter to the people that work for you.
Yes.
And that way you create a culture where vital things in your business won't matter to people around you. But if you take certain aspects of your business serious, if, delivering on time matters to you, if satisfying customers matters to you, then you begin to create a culture around your business where everybody that works for you understands that, no, we don't joke with our customers here. When I was working with MTN, we had this, during our training period, we had this emphasis on customer is king and all that. No matter the tune of a customer, you don't, reply in the same tune. You always calm the customer down. And that became a culture in our company then. So it's very, very important to build a culture around your business. And that is one of the key things leadership does. So most times when you talk about leadership, people, confuse it with management. Yeah. So, but let me give you this example to drive down the difference between leadership and management. So, assuming all of us here are in a bus, so we're supposed to take a journey, to let's say Enugu, and a boss is out waiting for us. So the work of management is to make sure that every one of us enter the bus, right? And the bus has been maintained. Any repair that will hinder our transportation to Enugu has been fixed, and the fuel is okay, and everything with respect to the car or the bus is okay. But leadership now takes care of the direction, right? Why management takes care of, making sure that every one of us are in the bus and the car is well maintained and fueled. Leadership takes care of the direction, because you can put everything in order with respect to management, but it makes no sense managing in the wrong direction. It creates no value, right? So leadership gives direction, and then management, produces the value, because it makes no use becoming or creating efficiency in the wrong direction. So that's a basic difference between management and leadership. So bearing that in mind, you would understand now that leadership usually asks why we are doing something, where we are going, and how to achieve that. Why management talks about what needs to be done. So management focuses on the process, budgets, deadline, tax, procedures, and performance. These are the key functions of management. These are the areas where it focuses. While leadership focuses on, direction, people, purpose, culture of an organization, and trust and inspiration, and these key differences are vital in helping any entrepreneur build their organization. And for businesses that are just starting, you need both. And sometimes you find out that the same person plays the same role as a leader and also the manager. But as your business grows, sometimes you get a manager, so that you can focus more on the things that brought us around leadership.
Wonderful. So what I want to understand is, being a leader, can you also be a leader and a manager at the same time? Or are they roles that are separate for separate individuals now?
Okay, so yeah, you can be a leader and a manager at the same time.
Okay.
That's usually the way it starts.
Okay.
So, but as your organization grows, and the burden of being a leader and the burden of a manager cannot be, handled by one person, then you now get a manager, so that the leader will focus on the things that matters with respect to leadership, like, maintaining the organization's culture, creating the vision for the organization, and even expanding the vision and making sure that the organization is in the right direction. So, of course, for businesses that are still starting, one person can play both roles. But for conglomerates, like MTN, you find out that, you have the core managers, the managers departments and all that, while you have the CEO who is in charge of making sure that everybody is in line with the vision of the organization.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So, and again, leadership means learning, like we said before. Leadership means learning how to, get people to work with you and leading them to do extraordinary things and produce extraordinary outcomes. And when in terms of leadership, the core purpose of leadership is also building a team, right? So, and there are 5 levels to building a team that I think every entrepreneur should note and work with. One is putting the right people in the right role. So most times, every now and then we hear people saying, make sure that round pegs are in round holes and square pegs are in square holes. Yeah, this is not just an adage. It is it can be destructive for a company to put somebody in a role that they are not made for, right? So it's important that whenever you're hiring people, you make sure that, the character, the competence, and the attitude of whoever you're hiring matches the role. So there are some roles in a company that requires, high level of energy. You can't put somebody that, doesn't match that energy, to run those, or to, be in charge of those departments or handle those tasks. So very important you put round pegs in round holes.
No square pegs in round holes.
Yes, not square pegs in round holes. Then, secondly, give people clarity. So, most times when you employ people, sometimes we assume that they should know some of these things. But I think you shouldn't make those assumptions if you've not taught people what to do. So when you employ people, you should be able to, as a leader, define what their responsibility is, their targets, the authority they have, their report line, and the performance that is expected of them. What that does is, it clears, it clears the way and avoids confusion, because confusion creates poor performance. So when you employ somebody and the person knows, okay, this is what is expected of me, and you train the person understands this and this is what I'm supposed to do daily to achieve this purpose. If whatever I'm doing is not achieving this expected outcome or purpose, then I'm falling beyond what is expected of me. So that way, people have a clear mental picture of what is expected of them.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, the third level that leaders should do is training. In our last episode, we talked a lot about training, because most of the businesses we run these days, we just employ people, and then we don't concentrate on training. Sometimes when we train them, we only train them and give them orientation, and that it stops there. But training should be seen as a part of the business. It should be seen as a continuous process. It should be seen as something that is part of the business, because the more your employees are trained, the more they're equipped, the more it's reflected in your business.
Go ahead.
Now, again, the number 4 is feedback. So why is feedback very important? Most times we when I use we, I'm talking of leaders. Most times we find it hard to recognize good performance. So if your employees or workers perform well in certain areas or perform beyond expectation, it is always good that you recognize these performance. Give them feedback. Oh, you did so well on this. You met the target, and sometimes provide gifts to encourage them. And then if someone doesn't do well, also correct them. Now, why is this very important? Because if any correction you don't make might grow into something big that will affect the operations of your business. If it might even get to the point where it affects the service to your customers, and then when it affects the service to your customers, then it's going to be a problem. It's a problem because it will affect your revenue. And in the same way, with the same intensity that you use in correcting your workers or employees, also use the same intensity to recognize when they have done well, and inspire them, because employees tend to do better when they are inspired, when they find out that whatever they are doing is contributing immensely to the progress of your organization.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the final one is make people feel their work matters. The cleaner should understand that cleanliness affects the customer's perception of your company. The production worker should understand that the quality of the product, also affects the revenue. So even the gate man should understand that his work contributes to the success of the organization. So that is leadership. Leadership is about purpose. So when people find out that they are fulfilling purpose in your organization, they tend to put in their best, But if they feel, look, if the gate man feels it's not just to open the gate and close the gate. No, he needs to understand that as little as what he's doing is, that if anything happens and somebody comes into your company or organization and steals something, then it is a big issue. It will affect your organization. So he needs to understand that whatever little effort or whatever little place, how little place he is, in quotes, in the organization, that what he is doing is contributing immensely to the success of your organization. You wanted to ask a question?
No, I just wanted to, so on a final note, what I want to know is, how are you able to imbibe this thing into those working for you? Because as a leader, of course, you have the vision, but then how do you pass it across to the people working for you to also maintain that same vision and not differ from, whatever you have? And at what point do you say, oh, this person is not following my vision, I need to let them go, and, removing the emotional bias there,
Okay, so a very great question. And so the fastest way, to, translate what you have in your mind as a leader to people working for you is to delegate. Delegation is a strong part of leadership, right? So, and in rounding off, I would like to say that delegation doesn't mean abandoning your business. But delegation is all about creating multiple you, because if you have, your vision embedded in everyone that works for you, that means you can be anywhere in the world and your business still runs as you want it to run. And one of the key ways, apart from training, to achieve that is delegation. Delegation is simply telling someone to go do something and giving the person the guideline on how to do it, right? Yeah. So there are 4 levels or 4 parts of delegation. The first one is explain the result.
Okay.
Explain the result. So what do you expect them to achieve? Outline what you expect them to achieve. If it's a marketing guy, tell them how to handle the marketing, how you expect them to handle the marketing and what they need to do. Now, secondly, give them the authority. Most entrepreneurs, everything must pass through you, right? So if you've trained somebody and given them delegated them to do something, they shouldn't come back to you to take permission to do certain things about those things. You should allow them to make those decisions on them. You should trust them enough, to make those decisions. Now, the next step is establish boundary. So even though you've given them authorities, you can create boundaries around the authorities that you've given them. So let's say, for example, okay, this is the highest level of discount you can do. This is the standard of what you expected. You can't go below this standard. So once they understand the boundary around your authority that you've given them to handle certain tasks in your business, then they are good to go.
Okay.
And then the last thing you do is you review their performance. So after they've delivered whatever you've asked them to do or whatever you've delegated them to do, they come back to your table and then you kind of review. Okay, did you do well in this? Okay, this was done well. Okay, next time do this way and all that. So that way you're building or replicating yourself in the business. And within time, you find out that person will be delivering those things you asked them to deliver as if it was you. That is the power of delegation, and that is the power of leadership.
Wonderful. Finally, on a final note, I think we're wrapping up with this. For those who want to follow you and you become their leader, as the case may be, how do they get to you on social media?
All right. So you can follow me on my social media handles on @Doc Ugo Ifediora. So Doc, DR, then Ugo Ifediora. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, and always remember that fortune awaits the bold.